All right, let's go ahead and get started. Could I get a designated note taker for today?
I'm happy to do it.
I appreciate that. Okay. Sorry, there's a new Zoom UI and I'm trying to get used to it. Okay. I don't see any new faces. Looks like a pretty um standard group to me, so I think we can hop right into outstanding RFCs. Um I don't have any commentary on this decoupled dependencies from Buildpacks RFC. As it stands right now. I have not had the time to work on it, and nor has there been quite the same desire to see it through in the same way. Um, so I'm gonna wait until either one of those two things renews, which is either my ability to work on it or the need for it to happen again. Um, yeah, that's where it's at right now. I don't know what the current status on the proposal to publish multi-arch build packs is. We had Jericho in a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying that, oh yeah, I need to come through and update this. I might message him on the side at some point and be like, and say something effective. Hey, can we either get an update to this or make this so that it's a summary of the changes that have happened, or get rid of it entirely because it's kind of just happened organically. Um,
What I've seen at least is that the Java subteam seems to be working on something in Paketo community, like in a Java specific builder. I bet this supports ARM out of the box because that's probably the main reason they are currently driving that.
Yes, that is. I've had some discussions with them. Their big drive is to have an all ARM builder for Java because it is something that the Spring community is clamoring for right now. In fact, I think that there was some rumbling about them evaluating the use of build packs if they couldn't do multi-arch support and that sort of thing. So
Mhm.
they are using like a precedent in RFC to start their own language specific builder, which I think is probably fair based on I think the speed that we would be able to get the other ones done.
Yeah,
And also probably fair due to the popularity of Java itself. Having a dedicated builder for it is probably fair, especially one that could be regulated and controlled by the Spring community, or is more directly tied to the Spring community. Is maybe a fair uh, call of it. Um, Proposal to add OCI image annotations to build packs. I believe so. This spawned an upstream RFC that I believe has been accepted. Yeah, it's been accepted and merged. I will, after this meeting, reach out on this and see if there's anything else that needs to be done here. Because I'm curious on if there's anything that they want on a build pack level. I think most of this turned out to be mostly like the build packs themselves. I don't know about the build packs produced images. If they still want stuff, I would actually like to open it back up for discussion because I think there's some interesting things in here that I don't know that we can provide in the way that they're looking for. And to sort of have a deeper understanding of what they're looking for would be interesting. Excuse me. Um, and then finally, this add RFC to unify log output. Um, I would love to. I have not had a chance to take a look at this. Um,
yeah, it has been
uh,
opened by Ralph,
mhm.
and it's based on the fact that look, just give me a second. My son is reaching.
Sure. I'm assuming that this is relatively straightforward insofar as that the two different types of build packs produce two different log styles, which is not necessarily conducive for the most pleasing outputs. Um,
Yep, that's pretty much what it says.
yeah. So
They're different, and we should make them the same.
yeah, which I don't know that I don't necessarily disagree with, but I think that the task is not difficult, but there's just lots of opinions flying around. And so that's almost worse than it being a hard technical problem to solve.
So, So getting back to that, I think it's based on the log output of anything that is not Java only looks strange. And that's because like the utility build packs are also based on libpack. So every non-Java build pack that is otherwise based on Packet also has some utility build packs in libpack, and then logging just looks strange overall. So I think that's probably the worst thing. Like it's the tip of the iceberg, I'd say, but it's the worst result of the community having two different libraries for doing things.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, and I do want to make it very clear that I think that this is like this sucks, right? Like I think that as I was saying, like this is not a hard technical problem to solve. Like if anything, it's some maintenance and some burden and some pain in the butt about it because of X has to look like Y or whatever. I think that what's really difficult about this is that like the there's it's two different design concerns. So like visual design concerns. So what is better than X or Y or Z in that sort of scenario, I think is a little bit harder. I think that probably the thing that we should do first and foremost, or maybe not first and foremost, at some point, something that we should do is um actually catalog the difference between the two. And I don't know what the best way to do that is, but like know what needs to be changed and what is similar. And then we could like go from there.
Is there any technical reason why one of the two couldn't be used? Like, are they both, I haven't looked at them, but are they both written in Go and could be called from either set of build packs? Or is there some reason that like one's got an affinity with certain build packs versus another?
No, I'm not. I would have to look at them. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I don't quite recall exactly. It might be that the interface is borderline identical and it wouldn't matter and we could swap one for the other. And if someone wanted to go through and do that, they could. But I would I would be interested to know like I think that there's stuff that both logging styles do that I like, but I don't necessarily know the best way about going about doing them or what's actually good. It's also like something I haven't thought about in a while,
But
and I haven't gotten a look at this. So
for me, the main point is to find an agreement to do one thing and do it everywhere. It's like formatting. And it's like if I would join a new team and that has a formatting rule that opening parentheses start on a new line, I would hate that. But I still, as long as formatting is automated, I just go along with it. And that's something that the community would need to do. So I guess it's a bit a call maybe for Forrest, me, and Daniel as steering committee members to just decide there's one way to go and we all go that way. And there is no chance about it because it really looks bad as a project. And I see technical challenges in realigning the community in using just one library because there's a lot of change that would have to go into that. But this is a visual thing. Everybody notices that. Not only somebody who decides to write a build pack, right? And has to decide like which library to go for. But this one is that's why I said it's the worst part, even if it's just the tip of the iceberg. And what we need is to just say it's that way or it's that way, and I don't even care. I think I like the colored output of libpack, but if we decide for the other way around, I'm all for it as long as we decide and align.
I think
That's my
I think I agree with you. So I think I agree with you. And so coming up with just like a way of doing it, I think is probably the right call. Just knowing what that is, I think is going to
yeah.
be that's I think that's going to be what I'm saying. It's what is bike shedding, right? I think that we're all in agreement that the bike shed should be made. We're going to just fight about what color it should be. Um, and yeah, so I think that I agree with everything about this. I need to sit and think about it, and then maybe we can set up some time to do it as well.
Yeah.
I
Back
assume the biggest work is going to be changing the tests that rely on the logging.
Yeah, that is the thing that I am concerned about as well. So then also maybe having some way to put them in test mode as well, right? Like because I do know some people using one library or the other also do testing of logs, and so having to make those people also change how the logs look is another one. So maybe having some sort of testing or no color mode. Well, what's the best way to implement that? How do we, it's just one of those things where like, yeah, we'll have to look into it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can just see like I'm pretty sure a lot of the unit tests for the node ones, they basically look at the log output and say, does it match? Yes, okay, we got what we expected. So that would likely all have to change. Otherwise, like you could probably just make one of them a wrapper for the other one. And then, but you've got to change all the tests. So you might as well, if you're going to do that, if you're going to change all the tests, you might as well rip out the calls as well, right?
It's like what one alternative could, of course, be to make the assertions white space and coloring unaware or something like that, right? So you could change that to kind of align the expectations in the tests to not care about that unless it's testing the log output, which I believe it doesn't, right? So it's testing the functionality, then you could just strip the specificity there. Because otherwise, yes, I agree. It would be great to have one library depend on the other if it's only for logging. And I would see that as the first stake in there, and then one could look for further things to align in the two packages. But I don't think that the community is really following along with that. But like for logging, I don't see a chance, like other than deciding and go for it, even if it is work. Like if that means adapting all the tests, then it means adapting all the
Yeah.
tests. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not worth it maybe for some kind of internal thing where we say like, oh, it's a bit bad or sad or whatever that we have to implement RFCs twice because there's two libraries. But that's a really internal thing. The logs are very external.
Yeah. I'll float this around too and get some
Yeah.
people's opinions.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that brings us to the end of our open RFCs. So we can move on to CMP updates and questions. Image extensions are stable in the last two revisions of the lifecycle spec, so is no longer experimental in the upstream. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that was added maybe in advance by Aussie. So we were just talking earlier about like extensions, and so they're no longer experimental. So we could consider starting to move things that require those things into non-experimental as well, I think is what we were thinking.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think it's worth it talking about for sure.
I'm just not sure what's the process for that, for like taking something that's in Paketo
Uh
community and moving it to the build packs.
we've done it. I've done it in one or more. I've done it in excuse me. I've done it for a couple of the build packs before. We've done it in the past. We've just done RFCs because that's our beautiful hammer that we use to hit every nail that we find.
Okay.
But yeah, it's basically just hey, this has been solidified. There's this customer, or not, excuse me, not customer. There's this user used for it. We're seeing, whatever adoption, that sort of thing. Um, and yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, perhaps then it would make sense to move things into the official domain, and that would also come with our sort of like, this is something that is prime timed and ready for wider community use, or yeah, official use.
In this specific case, like because you're probably looking for the UBI stuff, I'd say like I would have to give another look at that. There has been a UBI RFC, right, which ended up in starting it in the community space.
Correct.
So maybe
Yep.
there's even a trigger in there. And independent of that, I guess it's maybe worth an RFC that is about whether now the Paketo community fully adopts the UBI based builders, which I don't know if that is already the outcome of the old RFC, which might be the case, right? Which was just starting over there. But I guess that is kind of coupled in this specific case, right? Moving the repos from community to the main org is kind of the technical means of now adopting full UBI support as a community and no longer as a IBM and Red Hat folks are working over there on it. And I guess that's definitely an RFC, unless the old RFC already had some terms on that, which I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a good point. I'll check the old RFC for that.
Awesome.
And I mean that probably needs buy-in then, right? Again, from like because that's builders, stacks, and build packs. So it's a couple of sub teams, I guess, that need to say like, yes, we agree. That maintenance is now set up like that. I don't see a problem in there. I guess you're even you're I think you're approver in the builder team as well, right? Or
Yeah.
at least somebody from your side. So I don't think this is a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I think that something I would bring up in that RFC is basically just hey, this is how sort of not automatic, but this is how stable just the release cycle is for this.
Right.
We're not having, troubles getting releases out. We're not doing that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
that's probably what I do because I think that would be the biggest concern is introducing something that's very volatile to release.
Yep. Got it. Yeah, I'm not gonna rush, but when I'll look at the old RFC, read up there, and then just good to understand, like, yeah, okay, if it wasn't covered in the original one, we'll open a new one to say, okay, yeah, now this is no longer stable or no longer experimental. This is the proposed.
Yeah. In the
Yep.
CNCF, we would be talking about the graduation RFC or whatever, right? For that thing.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Are there any other CMB updates?
I don't know, like it's not a CNB update, but something about other related projects maybe and might be worth mentioning. I guess we are pretty much through to have cloud native build pack support in Cloud Foundry, and even the potential support for system build packs is through. Means one of the next, like the RFC is through and it's partially implemented, needs to be reviewed still. And CNB, not CNCF. And one of the next steps would be about should there be batteries included system build packs, which like Paketo would be a candidate. But that's maybe something that like should be discussed in a broader audience when more attendees from the Paketo project are there, because that would be something coming from there, right?
When you say sister build packs, what do you mean?
Just system build packs. It's like
System,
you
okay.
can do CF push and just say that you now want to use that new stuff. You can actually tell it then to like it's CF push dash dash lifecycle CNB, and then it automatically chooses a cloud native
Right,
build
okay.
thing if there are system build packs installed into the Cloud Foundry system.
Okay.
And that's the RFC that's, I think, implemented but not merged yet. So I think we have PRs open on CAPI and wherever else needed. The rudimentary support for doing CF push dash B here is, I don't know what, Paketo Java is supported already.
Gotcha.
And fully there. I'm not sure. I think CF deployment might not yet be released with that, but
That's good to know. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Great. I don't have any other project updates. Are there any other open mic discussion topics or anything like that? All righty. Well, thank you for putting up with my raspy voice. I'll see y'all next week.
Talk
See
to y'all
you.
later.
Bye.